Hopefully they will all lay low for the rest of the year and I won't have to make another video chronicling their scandals. Josh Duggar, the prodigal son of the Duggar Empire, was arrested on April 29th for possession of child sexual abuse images. Well, here we are again.
Bay County Sheriff Tommy Ford says his office was contacted yesterday by a detective with Tontitown Police in Arkansas. He says during a recent interview, a 14-year-old girl reported she was sexually abused back in 2020 while in Panama City Beach when she was just 9 years old.
And it doesn't feel good to have suspicions confirmed. There is a child that was abused and is likely still hurting and is going to have the worst moment of their life dissected in the news for years to come. I'm just not even shocked. I'm disappointed. I'm upset. I'm outraged. I'm disgusted, but I'm not shocked. And if his brother hadn't done what he had done, this would probably be bigger news. How fucked up is that? His family is so dark-sided that multiple child sex abusers have been set forth into the world from this one family. It's very important to talk about that this is not an isolated incident, and it's going to keep happening because of the fundamentalist Christian nationalist beliefs that this family not only espouses, but is trying to make the law of the land for our country, for the United States of America, and actually the world. They're trying to bring forth Armageddon. So what do we even do? I'm convinced that this Epstein shit and the normalization of pedophiles in politics is supposed to, I don't know, usher in a new era of child abuse, I guess. It's already the trad wife apocalypse. Oh my God, guys, I almost forgot about Jessa Duggar's trad wife school. I was going to make a video about that. God. And according to the Heritage Foundation, the people behind the 2025, women really are supposed to be barefoot and pregnant helpmeets who just exist to serve a man. He represents your average fundamentalist Christian Joe, right? This is who's supposed to be leading our country. This is supposed to be who's in charge of, you know, the safety, well-being, and upbringing of the future generation, right? And we all know how much the Duggars care about the children, lest we forget Michelle's transphobic robocall from 2014.
I don't believe the citizens of Fayetteville would want males with past child predator convictions that claim they are female to have a legal right to enter private areas reserved for women and girls. We should never place the preference of an adult over the safety and innocence of a child. Parents, who do you want undressing next to your daughter at the public swimming pool's private changing area?
This fucking guy. And, you know, anyone else like him, because that's who's in charge. And the system is set up that way. It's not just an IBLP thing, although that is a big part of it, because as we've discussed before, they used to produce wisdom booklets that would literally tell victims that it was their fault for defrauding their brothers and causing them to stumble. To watch Josh go through all this shit and to think that you were going to get away with it, and obviously we're all thinking the same thing. What kind of abuse factory is the fucking tater tot house?
I don't think there's any way any of us would have known that my brother's living such a secret life. Whenever somebody is, somebody you respect the most is willing to get up and proclaim, what we believe as Christians, about being true to your wife, you never would expect that person to be the one that's involved in it. And it broke my heart.
How are they running things to where this keeps happening? Obviously, everybody wants to know, is Kendra going to stay? Is she going to leave? I don't think she's capable of thinking about that right now. Like, her entire world just shattered overnight, and now she's got to put the pieces together, plus worry about the safety of her own kids. She got married to him when she was 18. They were courting on the TV show when she was 17. That's not an excuse, and obviously I don't think she knew about this behavior until St. Patrick's Day when it was revealed. Joe and Kendra and their entire family were hanging out with the Duggars. Everybody was blissfully unaware a few weeks ago. And I just want to speak to the bravery of this victim coming forward. I truly hope she's not watching, but if she ever does one day, you just set forth something bigger than yourself, and it's going to help so many people. And I know it doesn't take away the pain, but know that you did something really brave and really important. I keep wanting to say I can't believe it, because I do, obviously. It's just, I don't know. I guess I'm a fool. I believed the propaganda that it was just Josh. Like, we were all thankful that it was just one. But now it's multiple. And they can't just fucking sweep it under the rug this time. Because if you remember, the Duggar daughters were the first ones to have to deal with this shit. They were the first victims of the Duggar abuse complex. They had their entire experience and trauma completely discounted. Then they were forced to go on TV and defend their abuser while he sat in the room with them. And then they had to have all their trauma re-brought back up in court when Josh did it again. And so it's gonna be the same fucking media circus. These poor girls, like, what the fuck do they do? And this victim is so young that she's still a minor, even though the events occurred 5 years ago. And I don't know what's gonna happen to Joe, but didn't Florida just pass a new fucking law that if you assault somebody under the age of 12, you get 25 years in prison? Oh yeah. And he's going to have to do all this shit in Florida, too, because he lives in Arkansas, but the crime happened in Florida. And remember, this shit's been going on for 10 years, with Josh at least. So you have to wonder about the environment that is turning out these pedophiles. And if you recall the In Touch article that published the police reports from the original molestation case with Josh and his sisters happened in 2015, even though those crimes had happened 10 years prior. Also in 2015 was the Ashley Madison leak, where we discovered that Josh had an account on there seeking an affair. Shortly after that, there were allegations from adult film star Danica Dillon, who says that Josh sexually assaulted her. And in 2021 was the beginning of his CSAM trial. I am going to keep track as best as I can of the trial and everything that happens as it goes. I'm keeping a Google Doc where I document things as they come, just like I did for Josh's stuff. And I will try and make videos as relevant information comes out. But stuff like this, it doesn't happen overnight. I'm sure if you are on social media at all or you go on Reddit, they will have the most up-to-date information down to the minute, you know. But today, I guess, we're going to be reading quite a bit and watching some videos, hence the webcam. And I will hop back in later today if anything new develops before I put the video out. Oh, and I don't think that this is going to happen in my comment section, but I just wanted to say for the record, please do not try and investigate who the victim is or speculate, because it just gets really dark really fast. She deserves her privacy, and you know what? She's a fucking hero. She just might be the one to bring this family down, so let's leave her the hell alone, and let's focus everything on these fucking monsters, okay? Former 19 Kids and Counting star Joseph Duggar is facing charges after allegedly molesting a 9-year-old girl while vacationing in 2020. Joseph, 31, was charged with lewd and lascivious molestation of a victim less than 12 years old and lewd and lascivious behavior conducted by a person 18 years or older. I think he was in his mid-20s when this happened, and he was married to Kendra. The former TLC star is now awaiting extradition to Bay County to face the charges, so that's in Florida, and he lives in Arkansas, and he just had his hearing a couple hours ago, and he is, I think, going to go to Florida for this. He was charged in connection with a child sexual abuse case involving a 9-year-old who was on vacation with her family in 2020. This alleged sexual abuse occurred when Joseph allegedly asked the victim to sit on his lap. As the vacation continued, he also asked her to sit next to him on a couch and covered them with a blanket.
You know what? We don't let boys babysit. We don't let, they don't play hide and seek together. Two don't go off and hide. I mean, there's just a lot of things that we put in place, and we said, you're not alone in a room with someone else. You always be out visible, and little ones don't sit on big boys' laps or people that you don't know, or even family members, unless it's your daddy.
The victim stated Duggar eventually apologized for his actions, and the incident stopped after the apology. The arrest was a result of the victim, now 14, participating in a forensic interview regarding a report of past sexual abuse. The victim's father confronted Duggar about the incidents, and Joseph allegedly admitted his actions to the father and detectives. People confirms that Duggar is in police custody, but an official extradition timeline has not been released.
The victim says he eventually apologized and the contact stopped. Although the report was made in Arkansas, investigators say the incident happened in Bay County, putting it under the sheriff's office jurisdiction. After reviewing the case, the sheriff's office submitted an arrest warrant yesterday to Tontitown Police.
We work, unfortunately, way too many of these type of cases, and I don't care if he's got a TV show or who he is or what he's done. He's committed an illegal act, and he's going to be held accountable for that.
Sheriff Ford says Duggar is currently being held in Arkansas as he awaits extradition to Bay County. He says that process could take 1 to 2 weeks. Once here, Duggar will be booked into the Bay County jail. A judge will then decide if he will be granted bond and at what amount before the case moves forward through the courts.
I also want to shout out this girl's dad for doing something about it and doing something about it immediately. It sounds like, obviously I don't fucking know, but it sounds like he drove up there and started yelling at him. So hopefully this girl gets support and this dad shows up and helps put Joseph away. I also have the intake video for Joseph in jail, and how do people even get this footage? Is this surveillance footage from the jail? Or is there a live stream somewhere? It's just, I don't know. I'm going to watch it. Yeah, notice all the other shit that happened this week. Up above, we got Taylor Frankie Paul getting kicked off The Bachelorette because of domestic violence. And then James just texted me, I guess Chuck Norris just died. Anyway, this is Jill's reaction. We were shocked yesterday evening to learn of Jill's brother, Joseph Duggar's arrest. We first learned of anything related to his charges yesterday via text from a friend who messaged us about the most recent media reports of Joseph's arrest and his alleged confession to molesting a juvenile female in 2020. We strongly condemn abuse. We support the rule of law and hope that justice will be achieved. Our hearts go out to the innocent juvenile victim of this unspeakable crime and her family. We pray God gives her strength, comfort, and hope, and that she is able to get all the help and support she needs and deserves in the days ahead. We love our sister-in-law Kendra and our 4 nieces and nephews and pray that they feel loved and supported during this time, as we cannot imagine the indescribable pain they feel as they process and grieve. Guess who else made a statement? The last person any of us would ever want to hear from. Now, this is from page 6, so I can't really verify it, but it seems like something Josh would want to comment on, I think he's running out of activities in jail. Apparently this is Josh through his lawyer. Josh understands the stigma. Josh, who himself is serving a 12-year prison sentence for possessing CSAM, says charges against his brother deeply saddened him. Josh understands the stigma of being accused, his attorney told the Daily Mail. He lives with the painful reality of how false accusations can destroy a life. False accusations can destroy a life, huh? If I catch Josh Duggar. Anyway, he understands how the targeting of a person for publicity can twist the truth into a sensationalized fiction. I'm gonna McFreaking lose it. The attorney added that although Josh and Joe are not in frequent communication, the jailed brother hopes and prays for his brother's well-being in this difficult time. Yeah, I'm sure he's excited to hear a phone call from Josh. Josh's claim that the charges against Joe are false contradicts the authorities' assertion that Joe admitted to unlawful conduct to both them and the accuser's father. And then earlier this morning, Joseph had his extradition hearing via Zoom, and it wasn't available to view that I could see. If a video comes out, I will post it. but it was only a minute long, and he signed a paper, and now he's going to Florida, I believe, for the trial. So, yeah, it was kind of uneventful, but Kendra did not appear in court, nor did any of his family members. Sucks to suck, Joe. That's what I'm just wondering. What the hell's going on? Are they on his side? Are they going to be weird about it like they were with Josh? Are they going to, like, launder some money for a political campaign? Who knows? But it does not seem like they're going out of their way to support him this time, because nobody has said anything besides Jill, and we could count on her to say something. There is also a possibility that Joseph could face additional charges, as Tontitown Police Department Chief Corey Jennison tells People there is still an open investigation being conducted. If anything else happens by the end of the day, I will add it to the video. All right, we are back. And a little bit ago, Jessa released a statement along with Amy. So Jessa says, "We learned of this saddening news along with the rest of the world on Wednesday, and we are in complete shock. Our hearts are grieving for this innocent young girl, and we know this is deeply grievous to God, who cares tenderly for children and the vulnerable. We are keeping her in our prayers. As a family, we are pulling together to support Kendra and her kids during this difficult time." Amy had this to say: "In light of the recent allegations involving my cousin, Joseph Duggar, I am sickened, heartbroken, and deeply angry. My first thoughts are with the victim, a child who deserved to be safe, protected, and surrounded by people she could trust. The courage it took for her to come forward, especially after years of carrying something so heavy, cannot be overstated. That bravery deserves to be honored above all else." Amy, 39, says she was utterly shocked to hear about these allegations and Joseph's arrest. However, at the time, I am not surprised that another alleged predator has emerged from this toxic system. For years, I have spoken out about the importance of truth, accountability, and protecting children, even when it meant going against my own family. Amy says family ties should never equal automatic trust or access, especially when it comes to the safety of children. When an image is protected over truth and silence is chosen over accountability, it creates an environment where abuse can thrive. I have worked hard to break cycles in both my extended family and my immediate family, she adds. My boundaries are in place for a reason, and I have used my voice to expose the darkness and advocate for the protection of children, a journey I wrote about in my book, Holy Disruptor. I think she's maybe trying to say, hey, this is a resource for you to get some help, but actually she's using this child sex crime to promote her book. So, and we are back yet again, guys. 5 News. They've been posting a lot. I think they must be local. They have a video of the Zoom call hearing, and so that's more information than I had a few hours ago.
The sheriff's office in Bay County said Duggar is facing charges of molestation of a victim less than 12, as well as lewd and lascivious behavior conducted by a person older than 18. Investigators say they were contacted March 18th by a Tontitown detective after a now 14-year-old came forward with allegations from a 2020 vacation. The alleged victim would have been 9 at the time. The victim told investigators Duggar repeatedly asked her to sit on his lap and inappropriately touched her. Authorities say the incident stopped after Joseph apologized. The victim's father confronted him March 17th, and investigators say Duggar admitted to the incidents to both the father and detectives. If Joseph is found guilty, he could spend decades behind bars.
We also have a statement from Deanna Duggar, who is Jim Bob's sister. She said, "I am grateful for the outpouring of support through messages and phone calls. The news has left me shocked, hurt, and angry, particularly for the victim and their loved ones. I offer my sincerest prayers for everyone affected by this tragic event." All right, guys, it's 4 o'clock. I was literally looking at the NWA homepage and refreshing like every 5 minutes because I just had a feeling we weren't done today. And I was right. There are now some new charges against Joseph. And it's the Arkansas police. Tontitown police have now filed charges against Joseph Duggar days after he was arrested. Duggar, 31, is being held in the Washington County Detention Center. Police have confirmed that Duggar's charges in Arkansas are unrelated to his Florida case. However, TTPD said this separate investigation was launched on the heels of the alleged incident in Florida. So, did they find a pattern? Did somebody else come forward? Is this going to be the end?
Really early on in the initial call of this report, it was determined that this incident didn't happen in Tawnytown. Our detectives made contact with Bay County Sheriff's Department in Florida. The Bay County detectives got a warrant issued, and they sent us a copy, and we executed the warrant, made the arrest yesterday around 3 o'clock. If we find out that there's someone that might want to come into our community and harm a child, then yes, we get on that pretty quick, and we're aggressive with it. Our department does take this very seriously, and as soon as the call came in yesterday, our detective jumped on it and made sure that it happened extremely fast, and it was nothing to even consider that we're going to take our time. We did take our time and made sure things were done right, but we also acted quickly and made contact as soon as we found out where it happened, because that's definitely, safety is our main concern here.
Yeah, so I don't know if this means there was more than one event or if this is a different thing. I don't know the law like that, but I'm sure somebody will chime in. We're back. We got specific charges now. 4 counts of false imprisonment and 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor. What the fuck is going on? I just got back from letting Marshall out. You can't fucking make this shit up. Okay, it looks like Kendra is getting charged with something. Joseph Duggar, wife facing charges. It's for the same things as him, I think. TTPD arrived at the Duggar family compound around 1 p.m. to serve a warrant for Kendra's arrest. However, she was not at home. Here's the pictures. Oh my God. What the fuck is happening? Also, we know now, since I was recording the whole time, that Jessa has taken down her story, the one that I had just read a few hours earlier. Probably because of this shit. And I'm going to show you a information redacted version of this, but on the Tawnytown Police Department Facebook page, they said that warrants have been issued for both Kendra and Joe. Now, obviously, we know Joe is in custody, and Kendra wasn't at the home, and there were police presence at the Duggar compound. So I am fucking terrified. I'm not going to lie. Like, this sounds scary. This sounds traumatizing times a million for these kids. And so this is the craziest thing ever, and I will keep you updated. It's 5 o'clock now. All right, so we officially have Kendra's Vine link, I think it's called. I think that's some sort of database for people who are booked and in jail. So she's been taken into custody. I'm sure we'll have a mugshot either by the end of the day or maybe tomorrow. All right, it's 5:36, and we have some more information. Doug Warner, who I guess works for NWA, I think that's a funny name for it, but it's Northwest Arkansas, says 27-year-old Kendra Duggar, wife of ex-reality star Joseph Duggar, turned herself in and is charged with 4 counts of second-degree endangering the welfare of a minor and 4 counts of second-degree false imprisonment of a minor. All right, it is 6:08, and it looks like we have a video now about the Kendra situation.
It's been a very long and very active day for Tawnytown Police, to say the least. This, again, just want to emphasize, all of these charges that we put out on KNWA, our app, just about 15 minutes ago, broke the news, are completely separate from what Joseph Duggar faces out of Florida. Of course, those are sex crimes against a minor that he faces there. These are all incidents that reportedly or allegedly happened here in Washington County in Tawnytown. Let's show you this video. This was around 1 o'clock today when I've got word, that police were in search of Kendra Duggar to basically serve her with warrants for 4, or actually 8 additional charges. 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor in the second degree and 4 counts of false imprisonment of a minor. These are identical to the charges that we reported earlier today that Joseph Duggar also faces here locally. They tell me these charges stem from the beginnings of their investigating the case out of Florida that dates back to 2020, where a young person has come forward and made claims that Joseph Duggar touched her inappropriately while they were in Florida, Panama City Beach. During that investigation, they said they uncovered these alleged incidents. So basically, they came to this compound that we're calling it. It's the one that was featured on the show, 19 Kids and Counting, for so many years. at the gate for at least a half hour. The gate would not open. Then I'm told that they were told that she would turn herself in at the Washington County Jail, and I confirmed that just a short time ago that is what took place. She has turned herself in at the Washington County Jail. So with Joseph Duggar behind bars, awaiting extradition to go to Florida to face those sex crimes with a minor charge. Now he's faced with 8 additional counts, a combination of endangering the welfare of a minor, as well as false imprisonment, both second degree. Those are the identical charges now his wife faced. I specifically asked, when did these alleged incidents take place? They could not give specifics. Obviously, this is still an active investigation, but it does seem to be, they allege, in recent history, as they also uncovered it just this week.
All right, this one actually comes courtesy of James, who sent it to me. So do you remember that intake video we watched earlier today? Well, apparently People has the transcript of what they talked about. I still haven't seen audio of it, but apparently Joe was joking around the whole time. The intake video of Joseph begins with a deputy conducting a thorough search and pat-down for nearly 2 minutes. Joseph is seen joking and smiling as the search begins, and at one point is asked by the deputy if he has ever been to the detention center. "Not on this side," Joseph 31 says while laughing. He is then heard explaining to the deputy that his brother was and is behind bars doing hard time because of a previous incident, though he does not provide details on that arrest. Joseph does not mention Josh, 38, by name while speaking with the deputy, and after he is done speaking, the deputy asks him what his last name is, to which Joseph responds, Duggar. The search lasts for 2 minutes, and Joseph is told to hand over his hat and a belt before moving on to the next stage. Joseph is then instructed to sit down and remove his shoes and socks, handing the shoes to the deputy. Yeah, well, we know how that works. I am just on edge here because that news video we just watched from NWA said that they were going to interview the cops on the news at 6, and it's 6 right now, so I wonder if they will have that uploaded by the time I need to upload my video. I don't know. We'll figure it out, guys. We're in this together.
There it is.
I'm fucking gooped and gagged, dude.
This feels like the end of the world.
This feels like I made a fucking documentary today on accident.
Jesus.
Well, here we go, guys. Oh,
Hopefully
God.
justice is served. Hopefully justice is served. This is so messed up.
Also, I guess she spent only a couple hours in jail and she bonded out for $1,400. And so this is an ongoing story. Guys, I just wanted to point out the difference in how things were going earlier in the day and how things are going now. Also, James came home from work. That's how long it's been. And I also had originally filmed a conclusion that was very nice to Kendra. And so that's been deleted. So unless anything happens in the next 30 minutes, video's done. I love you guys, and I'll fucking see you soon. Is this the end of the Duggars? I don't fucking know. They still tried to have a TV show after the first round, so anything's possible. Like I said, sex crimes against children are kind of being normalized right now, so hopefully that's not a sign of a trend. But because of their Christian fundamentalist IBLP background that viewed women as property to do what you want with, it's just not looking up. And so I just hope that the victim gets privacy, safety, comfort, and love from good people in their lives. And I hope bad things happen to Joseph Duggar. I love you guys. I will be around soon. I was working on a different episode this week until this shit happened, and so I'll try to get that out as soon as possible. But I miss you guys. I love you. Thanks for everything. We have Patreon and YouTube memberships. We also have merch, Discord, all that good stuff. Links are in the description, and I will see you around. Bye-bye.